Hello YouTube, how are we doing? So, as you can see, or as you can't really tell I suppose, I am still out and about in Wales. Had a few rides out here in recent weeks just to test the old bike out, get away, unwind for a bit, you know. And I thought while I'm here, some really nice views and stuff. And this coastal road between Barmouth and Harlech is an absolute perfect road to ride for me. The views are spectacular, as if you've watched my other videos on the channel you would have seen already, but you'll see in a moment when I get around up here. So I just thought I'd film some videos that I was planning on filming anyway while I'm here. So yeah, thank you very much for stumbling across my little corner of the internet here on YouTube, and liking, subscribing, commenting, good or bad, and all of that, anything that you've done. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. Today I just wanted to talk about, oh, scratch my nose. I wanted to talk about motovlogging, really. I've been thinking lately, watching quite a lot of motovlogging videos while I've been, you know, sat around in lockdown and all that. And on Facebook groups about motovlogging and stuff like that. And one thing I've noticed, there's been, I think because people have been stuck indoors and not able to go out and ride as much, but still, look at that view. Still want to do content for their channels and what have you. They've done. I've seen a lot of this is my setup and stuff like that, and I love watching them. I love seeing other people's setups and stuff like that. You know, GoPro chin mounts and multiple cameras and stuff like that. And at the moment, I'm still tweaking some of the stuff I want to do with mine and stuff. But one thing I have also seen is there's a lot of what's the perfect setup, or this is the perfect setup for motovlogging, and I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed also recently there's a lot more people motovlogging, getting into, obviously accessibility to YouTube and things like that is like a whole new thing. You know, it's more easier now than it ever has been, if you get what I mean. Not like YouTube's a whole new thing, because it really isn't. But and more and more people have obviously picked up bikes during lockdown. Look at it, it's beautiful here. Yeah, so more and more people have started taking to bikes, you know, taking their CBTs, taking their direct accesses, or the mod 1s, mod 2s, and getting on a bike, you know, because people don't want to take public transport after the pandemic and things like that. So when I was getting into motovlogging, I was watching a lot of videos on different setups and stuff like that. And to be fair, I generally avoid anything that says the perfect setup or anything like that, because you want to kind of find your own way, and that's what I'm kind of trying to say in this video, I suppose. You know what I'm like, if you watch my videos before, I tend to waffle off the point a lot. There is an awful lot of this is the perfect setup, this is the setup you have to have. You have to have this £500 camera, and you have to have this microphone and this adapter and this type of helmet and this type of bike and all that. And I really don't think it is the case. Now, I'm not saying this is every video about motovlogging setups it says this, and it definitely doesn't. But I don't want people to fall into the trap of thinking that they have to have really expensive gear, or motovlogging is something really expensive to, you know, to get into. You might not like it, you know, you might try it, you know, and then think, oh, I can't really do this, I can't sit at traffic lights or ride along the road chatting and stuff like that. It's not an easy thing to do. Even myself, someone who's got like podcast experience, and I'm quite a waffly, chatty person and stuff like that. And I've done YouTube videos for other things before. Even for me, it's still I still feel a little bit weird doing it, and sometimes a little bit conscious when I'm sat at the lights or in traffic or anything like that. You know, so you don't want to really go out and spend £500 on equipment or whatever, and then find out you don't like it. So my path to motovlogging is I got my bike. Thought, you know, I want to do some motovlogging, see how it goes. I spent £40 on an action camera off Amazon. and basically it was an action camera that was basically just a GoPro knockoff. It did 1080p video, 30 frames a second, and I tried it. I think the motovlogging pilot that I did, I'll put it in the video somewhere, just a little bit of a thing. Ignore the riding in it. I get people telling me off for the riding in it. I don't remember if I put anything else up from the channel that used that footage, but I did a few test videos on it, and I'll be completely honest, they came out great. The audio was good, the video quality was alright. It probably helps that I render my videos in 4K, even though they're filmed at 1080, even on my current setup, because I don't know if you're thinking of getting into motovlogging, one thing you'll very quickly find is that YouTube, even if you're recording at 1080p and uploading 1080p onto YouTube actually downgrades your videos. So what you think is 1080p doesn't actually come out as 1080p, and they get the bit rate on them can be a little bit iffy. Stuff like that. So a tip that I picked up quite quickly is, if you render your videos, as long as your PC or whatever is up to it, render your videos at a slightly higher resolution. You can do what they call my video software that I use calls it 2K. You can do it in that, or you can do it in 4K, and then when you actually put it into YouTube, it'll render it down. So you'll see a lot of videos in 1440. But even if it just puts it as 1080, it will be better quality because it's even the degradation that YouTube adds is accounted for in your setup. So there's a quick tip for you. I found that really valuable. But yeah, I used this action camera, filmed a couple of videos on it, uploaded them, and I found it really, really good. The only thing is, me being me, someone put me onto the Ghost X that I'm currently using, because obviously when I was starting off like just under a year ago, most people were using GoPros, which I'm not a fan of, or Ghost X's or XLs. The XL's just on its way out, I think, and the S is, I think they were in the process of replacing the S. But the X was a cheaper version. The only thing is it does 1080-30, it doesn't do 1080-60, but I think 30 frames per second for just motovlogging is fine, in my opinion, and even 1080, as long as you take the steps to account for the degradation. It's fine. But yeah, the camera was £120, and even though I was actually quite happy and impressed with the £40 camera I'd already bought, I always have this thing where I want to do the best I can with something straight away. It's just, I throw myself into things. So I was already looking at like £400 cameras straight away, when perhaps I probably shouldn't have been. I should have been just concentrating on my content, really. So yeah, I went out and bought that camera, and I can I can happily admit that I didn't actually need to. My content would probably have been no worse off quality wise, maybe the audio would have been a little worse for using that camera. I even filmed a video at night that I was quite impressed with on the action cam. So yeah, so all I'm saying is, if you are thinking of getting into motovlogging, I'm probably not the best channel, or the channel you would be watching if you were trying to get into motovlogging. Really, you'd be watching the big boys and stuff who do have their expensive cameras, but you don't need it. And as I say, most of the big guys, I don't see them going on about their setup and stuff. It tends to be like smaller channels that I've seen doing it and stuff like that. But obviously, if you're searching best motovlogging setup, and there's loads and loads of these videos recently, and I get it, because people are trying to adapt and make content when they're locked in their house or whatever. But yeah, buy what you're comfortable with, what you can afford. Set it up in a way that you want to. Like, some people put the camera on top of their head. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. I personally can't watch a video if you've got the camera on top of your head, because there's one guy I watched for a little bit. I watched his videos mainly because he's got the same bike as me, but his camera's so high, and he's obviously quite tall. You can't even see the bike, so it just feels a bit strange to me. I'd love an Insta360. Like Spicy uses one and stuff like that, and I think Hippodrones has used one as well in some of his videos. I like the fact that they can give you like that drone shot and stuff like that. But yeah, buy what you can afford, buy what you can use. You know, people, you know, will ask what's the best editing software and stuff like that. I use Cyberlink Power Director, but only because I've used it before, and it's very, very simple. It's literally drag, drop, cut, paste, and all that. There's nothing spectacular to it. Someone was kind enough to, you know, to donate me a copy of Sony Vegas to try, and I just couldn't get my head around it. I do intend to try and learn it at some point, but it was taking me forever to just try and get a video out using it, which, and I'm terrible enough at uploading as it is. So yeah, just, you know, just be comfortable and then move up. You know, don't do what I did, spend £40 on a camera, use it twice, and then go and spend £120 on a camera, because you might as well just save yourself the £40. But yeah, I just thought after watching those videos, and then, you know, weirdly I do get people asking me, oh, what's yourself, what do you think's best? Whatever's best for me might not be best for you. You know, you might not want a camera on the side of your head, you might want a chin mount, and stuff like that. So yeah, don't go crazy. I say, especially if you're new to it, a £40 camera is probably a good way of doing it, because it'll let you practice. You know, and then if, yeah, you might find that you don't like it, you're not good at it, you know, you want to do something else or whatever. Spending £40 is less of a hit to take, isn't it, if you're not good at it. So that's just my comment on that, and I just thought it was something that stuck in my head a few times, and I thought, you know, I'll make a video on it. Obviously my opinion isn't the be all and end all, but do what's good for you. Don't feel pressured into into going and getting a GoPro. You know, I see a lot of people who've gone out and bought GoPros and what have you, and then there's problems with them because you need specific adapters. You know, you'll see things that are labelled as GoPro adapters and then they turn out not to be. So yeah, just do what works for you, and that's it. And then yeah, if you started some motovlogs and whatever, and you watch the channel, let me know. Give me, you know, hit me up in the comments. I want to see your channels. You know, I love watching like smaller motovlogging channels like my own. You know, the less produced, the more off the cuff things and stuff like that. I would love to come and see your channels, and maybe I can learn something from you. You know, because I don't think anyone's going to learn much from me. And as I've said in other videos, I want to be as good as this as I can be. Whether I get 30 views or 500 views, I'm not really that bothered. But I want to be happy with the content I'm putting out. So yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me waffle on with my nonsense. And that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up on the socials. You know, what setup do you have? How do you find it? You know, any tips? You know, not what's best, but you know, have you found like the degradation thing on YouTube? Have you found that to be an issue, or anything like that? And until then, rather, get my words out. That's a good tip. Get your words out properly and stop waffling. I will catch you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.